First of all, I think I have talked about what is the process by which fires increase radioactive particles in the air. That was one of the questions. Just to summarize that, there are radioactive materials, natural radioactive materials, and global fallout in the forests, and some of those become volatile and go into the smoke. Mostly that's polonium-210, with much smaller quantities of other materials. The radiological health risks we'll come to a little more, and okay, so let me move on. Now, the filters, we had 90 samplers, and in almost all cases, the filters were changed before they became clogged with smoke. The problem with the filters is that they collect smoke, and that clogs the filters, so the filters were changed frequently, very often once a day. Every day, sometimes every other day. So those filters were sent for analysis both on-site and off-site. We had rapid turnaround, and so in some cases, in as many cases as we could, we analyzed the data within about a day and put them on the race website. And then that was backed up by more detailed analysis at an independent lab in Colorado, in Fort Collins, Colorado. They were analyzed for the full suite of radionuclides, for everything that we can analyze for, and those data are in RACER. Right? Just checking that I've got all the details covered here that I can think of. Now, most of the radiological data show non-detection. So overwhelmingly, almost all of them show nothing. No materials detected. There are a few exceptions that I will focus on. So out of the 5,000 pieces of data, there were a very small number, on the order of a dozen, that show something. And let me focus on those. So, let's see. So there was natural uranium. So first of all, we did detect in several locations uranium. Uranium is natural. How do I know it's natural uranium? Because of the isotopic ratio and because of the presence of the decay products. So it is straightforward to distinguish lannal uranium from natural uranium on the basis of the different isotopes and the different decay products that are present. So we detected natural uranium from the ground. Natural uranium is, of course, everywhere throughout the world. And so we did detect small amounts of natural uranium. The effects of this were much less than, the risk was much less than 1 in a million. Putting it in terms that some of you are familiar with, millirem, the effects were less than 0.1 millirem, compared with the standard, the EPA standard, which is 10 millirem. So the effects of this were very small. In terms of a risk, it's less than 1 in a million. And then we also detected plutonium-239. Now this I know is the material of interest, so let me be specific here. So now we're talking about plutonium, Pluto. So we did detect plutonium-239 at the locations of legacy contamination close to the lab technical areas 1, 21, and 54. This is not related to the fire. This is related to the remediation of these areas. So we detected this plutonium before the fire, and we are continuing to detect it after the fire. And it is not in any way associated with the fire. It is associated with the remediation which is going on at the lab. The effects of this are small. Now we're assessing them as we continue to see emissions, but they are well below the EPA standards. However, the effects, the cumulative effects of those at the moment are greater than 0.1 milligram. We are assessing them as we continue. They are well below the EPA standard, however.
Are they below 1 milligram?
No.
Okay. Are they below 5?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
hold the question and we're gonna have half an hour Q&A if we can get through the panel.
All right. So, in summary, we detected no radioactivity associated with Lanol that was also associated with the fire. There is no radioactivity whatsoever associated with the fire that came from Lanol. Health effects, there are no measurable health effects from any radioactivity, natural or man-made, either one, emitted during the fire. And that relates also to a specific question we had: what are the effects on food? As far as radioactivity is concerned, none. There are no measurable or even calculable effects on the food from radioactivity. Now, it's probable that some small amounts of ash fell in the vicinity out of the smoke, but there is no measurable radioactivity in that ash. In summary, then, the health effects are from the smoke, and the health effects of the smoke will be addressed, I believe, by you.